I was wrong. You need this. What? Okay, so let me explain myself in my previous video that it felt slightly negative. It was probably better titled something like how to recreate Osmo mobile shots with products maybe that you already own or using free applications from the iOS App Store. But it felt a little bit negative, so I can see to that. It felt a little bit unbalanced. So how about a why you need this video, or why you need this product video to rectify that? So let's go at it. Let me start. I can't help myself. I want to start with two nitpicks, if you don't mind. Two nitpicks. First, I would love that they would offer 24 frames per second. So inside the native DJI Mimo app, they offer 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second. Reason why people want to shoot 24 frames per second is because they want that cinematic feel for our eyes. Most movies are shot in 24 frames per second, so it just looks a little bit smoother, more realistic. And I would love for the native app to have that, so it helps in that cinematic feel and also helps in low light. Do you need it? No, it's not a deal killer because this is a hardware. So this runs without the DJI Mimo app. You actually don't need the app. You can just run it on itself. You can put your friend's phone in it and start it up, and it will balance it out. And so you can run like the native camera app or third-party app at 24 frames per second. But it would be nice to have that feature. So a nitpick, not a deal killer. Number two, I would love if they gave me a manual calibration for the horizon. So for the gimbal, they have auto calibration. I understand why they kind of did that is because they really want this to be consumer friendly. I feel like this is kind of designed for the consumer to make it easy for their life. So they have auto calibration that allows it to calibrate to be level horizontally, but I have found that it's been off slightly, just slightly off, maybe by 0.4 degrees, and that I cannot adjust. So if, for example, another DJI product, the Mavic Pro, allows you to adjust the horizon level. Why you need this thing? So in short, I would say this just makes your life easier when you're shooting. So it makes your life easier and at a cheap cost. So let's go over it. Number one, I would say the one-hand use. So you could hold your phone to keep it stable with two hands, but what this does is offer you stability, that stability of the phone with one hand, and that can be quite useful for, I don't know, from some certain task. Maybe if you're like driving a car, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're driving a car and using one hand, or you're riding a horse or some kind of like activity sport, riding on an ATV, or holding a baby, or you're one-handed pirate or something like that, for whatever reason, if you're holding it with one hand, if you just only had one hand to use, this can offer you the stability of two hands with one hand. So that's great. It kind of, relieves that effort, so you don't have to try as hard when you want to create a more quality shot. Number two, it's a power bank. It has a power bank feature. So if you are traveling, the number one, battery drainer, the battery vampire out of your smartphone is a camera app. It's maybe some video games or something like that, but it's definitely your camera app. When you're shooting pictures, when you're shooting video, nothing drains your camera more, and you're already using your camera for the GPS, for the map functions, and you're looking up restaurants and stuff like that, or whatever you're doing while you're traveling. So your smartphone is already overloaded with so many tasks, and you're just using your camera a lot when you're traveling. And in order to keep your phone alive, you have to have a power bank. So when you're traveling, you have to carry like a bigger power bank to keep your phone alive, while you're out in the day. And this Osmo Mobile actually can charge your phone at the same time. So here, this is the charge in point, and this is a USB charge out. So it doesn't block your phone. So as you're having your phone mounted on it, it doesn't block your phone. So you can hook a cable up right there and have your phone charging when it needs it the most, when it's sucking the battery the most. So imagine you have like this object, this thing, let's weigh this. let's just to compare, zero this sucker out, 0, and it weighs 369 grams, and then you look at this and you're looking at 409 grams. So they're almost about the same weight, and the dimensions is almost about the same. And then, but this, you can almost forego carrying something like this while you're traveling, because the thing that's sucking the most power out of your smartphone is this. So now you can have this, and you don't have surplus weight as you're traveling, you're vlogging, and you're creating videos. So I think that's a useful feature. So I mean, of course, you can carry maybe a smaller power bank and then carry this as a surplus. But regardless, this can also be not an additional weight if you view it in that kind of aspect. So that's something to consider. Power bank feature. Okay, let's continue. Virtual tripod. This best way to look at this thing is a virtual tripod. So when you look at a Mavic Pro, best description that I can describe it is a virtual tripod. So it allows you to shoot any possible angle in the air, low, high, wherever, in any angle. So it offers you so much more, creative angles. So this is kind of like looking at it the same way. It is kind of giving you a tripod feature, but it's virtual, meaning that it's not hooked to the ground. So what's great about that is a tripod is very big. It's very big.
That's what she said.
And it's also heavy to carry around, and also it's restricted in some places, like in museums or whatever. So if you needed like a tripod function, and the tripod function maybe will give you a little bit more stabilization for low light shot, or give you a little bit more stabilization for when you're shooting a video, and it give you that without having that physical like planting on the ground tripod kind of format that's kind of restricting. So this can replace your tripod as you're traveling, and it's much smaller. Okay, let's continue on. The story mode. So they have a story mode function that, I can say that if you're not if you're just a kind of casual editor when you're shooting videos, that can help you create maybe some nice shots. I would recommend another app. There's an app called Quick. It used to be owned by someone else, but GoPro owned it. It's a GoPro product, so if you're a DJI lover, then you probably hate that. But it is a GoPro app. You can disable the GoPro Quick or whatever ending sequence thing on the app. It's free, completely free. I recommend the app for creating videos. It gets all your short videos and it throws into a beautiful cinematic shot. So let me continue on. Active track, it has active track. So let's see, active track, how would you use it? So for example, if you're taking a high shot, just imagine you're like in a crowded place, maybe like those Hong Kong protesters or some kind of like crowded like convention or whatever, and you wanted a high shot, and maybe you plug in you screw in a stick, like selfie stick or some kind of tripod, some kind of long pole into here, and you just want to get a shot like above the people. So you can activate like the double trigger to activate the active shot. So you can maybe, you activate this and lower the camera to a lower angle. You can have the camera much higher than other people and try to lock their face with the active track. So this can possibly give you better type of video quality without when you cannot see your phone. So if you had your phone way above your head, you can't see where it's actually pointing, and maybe it'll wobble a bit, and you just don't know. And you're in a situation where people are bumping each other, and this kind of is a very dynamic and crazy environment. And so this will be very, very, very useful in that kind of environment. Okay, so and what else? Cost. I went over the cost. $100. Think about it. What item that you own that costs $100? There's not even many items, especially tech gear, that costs like $100. So if you spend $100 on this and it's not that useful for you, it still won't break your bank. It's not gonna. You won't feel any regret when you have this item, when you buy this item, even if so it's kind of like if you buy a DSLR for a couple $1,000, they're quite expensive. You don't use it all the time, but when you have it, it's nice to have. So $100, it's not to sound like arrogant or anything. And I think a lot of people can agree with me. It's like kind of disposable, $100 to spend on this, even if you find it not 100% useful. It's like maybe it kind of hovers on the line of between tool and toy. It's like for me, so it's like more for the casual person. A casual person would absolutely love this, and a professional user will they'll be on the borderline. So, and then final conclusion I would say about this item is that the best thing about would be why you need it is that it's sort of a catalyst. You feel like when you have this item that you want to go out and shoot. So as I'm using it and I first got it, I feel I was going out and shooting the video, and I was thinking, actually, I was thinking I don't need it. I could have held my phone with my hands and shooting the video, but I was thinking that it got me out there shooting or creating shots, and I feel like it was sort of like inspiring you or being a catalyst to make you. So it's a kind of illogical or more emotional kind of variable where it makes you feel that it'll get you out there to shoot. So I think I cannot discount that kind of aspect, that kind of variable of this device, even when it's been sitting for a while, in my tech junk pile. And then I would say that I still, in the corner of my eye, I think when I see it, I want to go out and use it. So I think that's one of the kind of aspect to look about it. And so if you have that same kind of feeling where you feel like, if I get this and it makes me want to go out and use it, then I think that's something that's a kind of a reason. That's a reason to buy it, especially when it's not that high in cost. So I have that kind of feeling. So I feel this is kind of how they designed this product to get people excited to create something, as a vlogger or something or use it while you're traveling, and at a cost that's affordable for a lot of people. So that is my review about why you might need this product. And if you enjoy this video or hate it, you can like or dislike it, of course. And if you want to support what I'm doing, then it's free just to like and subscribe. So subscribe if you like this kind of content, and then that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.